Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Analog Tabletop. My name is Nick, and I'll be your guide on this tour of the top 5 board games on Kickstarter this week. Links to the campaigns are in the description, and pledge amounts have been converted to United States dollars. If you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Alright, now let's get going.
Welcome to Analog Tabletop.
Number 5.
Starting off this list is SANCTORVM, a co-op sci-fi horror game. This game can be played as a narrative campaign with one Overlord player and up to 5 hero players, or play missions which are much shorter and do not require an Overlord player. The game comes with a soundtrack on vinyl, which is pretty awesome, and you guys know how I love campaign games, even if I never get around to finishing them. Pledge $90 to get a copy. The Kickstarter ends January 16th and plans to deliver by December 2020.
Number 4.
Hello there, Kickstarter. It's Ryan here. I'm back. It's been a few years, but I'm pretty excited to show you something pretty new, pretty unique. It's called Tipping Point, and it's a climate change board game. So something that maybe a few of you would know, but I'm a climatologist. That's my day job. Making board games has been sort of a fun hobby. But as a climatologist, I'm looking at climate models, I'm looking at scenarios for the future, generating maps, and I really wanted to bring these two worlds together, and that's what Tipping Point is. So I've partnered with a really talented local graphic designer, Bradford Geiselman, and he's helped create some pretty stunning artwork. So let me show you Tipping Point, let me get you a little bit excited about it, and let me tell you why I need Kickstarter's help again with this project.
Okay, so the game of Tipping Point is kind of like SimCity meets Machikoro meets, well, climate change. So your goal is to grow a really large population. So that's where these citizen cards come in handy. And every citizen has a bit of a special power associated with them, but also they all require food to survive. So that's your next goal, is grow food. Well, how do you do that? You need development cards, and development cards come in 2 major flavors. There's the gray ones, which are cards that they're not necessarily bad, but they pollute, right? They release carbon dioxide. So you've got highways, oil wells, universities, schools, city hall, that sort of thing. And then there's the green development cards, and those include forests, wetlands, some small farms, and then also some cool technologies like this carbon capture and storage plant, which can actually suck carbon dioxide right out of the air. But you'll notice maybe in the bottom corner of this card, these sorts of advanced technologies also require electricity. So that's kind of the next goal. You got to generate electricity, and of course that comes with its own sort of challenges as well. Then, after you've had your turn developing your cards, it's the weather's turn. And so every round, these weather cards here are flipped randomly. And depending on how they combine, and you can use the trusty Weather Almanac card to sort of figure out the combinations here. Depending on how these weather cards combine, you might have a disaster to deal with, like a tornado, a fire, all sorts of fun things.
Next on the list is Tipping Point. This is a game all about climate change and the tough decisions we have to make to survive. This is a card-driven city-building game with drafting components. Use your imagination to build the type of city you want, whether it be an oil-rich city that earns you lots of money, or build many hospitals to protect citizens from the extreme weather. I love the message of this game, and engaging high schoolers like the publisher plans on doing with increasing awareness of this critical issue is very important. Pledge $31 to get a copy. The Kickstarter ends January 14th and plans to deliver by December 2020.
Number 3.
When we discovered it, the universe opened up to us. But faster than light travel was a mistake. We traveled across the stars and far from home. We lost so much in the process. Compassion, empathy, trust. In their absence, we became divided. Now those who seek power are finding it in the void. Now war is our last hope.
Deep Space D6 Armada is a standalone sequel to Deep Space D6. It is a co-op game where you work together to complete missions and fight enemies in space. Each player will control a unique starship, and as the game progresses, buy stations and heroes that will help on missions. I'm a big fan of clean artwork in this game and a simple premise. Pledge $48 to get a copy. The Kickstarter ends January 23rd. It plans to deliver by October 2020.
Number 2.
The beautiful Queen of Allegoria lies on her deathbed. With no heir, it's up to you to step up and claim the throne. In Throne of Allegoria, you take on the role of one of 4 great houses. You will have to bluff and outbid your opponents to perform more actions and then use them to your advantage for victory. Complete your secret objectives to gain even more influence over the realm. Assemble your workforce to strengthen your lands and to send out merchants, spies and soldiers to enemy territories. And finally, show your benevolence by donating to the poor and gain the support of the people. The player with the most influence at the end of the game will take over the fabled Throne of Allegoria.
A game by Robin Lees and Steve Mackenzie, now in an exclusive Kickstarter deluxe version by Game Brewer. Pledge now on Kickstarter.
Coming in second place this week is Thrones of Allegoria. It is a worker placement game in which the Queen of Allegoria is on her deathbed and it lies with each of the 4 houses, the players, to gain influence and claim the throne. I am quite fond of the artwork in this game, and the overall production quality looks as good as an Eagle Griffin game. I hope they can achieve that high bar. Pledge $69 to get a copy. The Kickstarter ends January 31st. It plans to deliver by October 2020.
Honorable mentions.
Dating Pool is a push-your-luck card game where each player is on a dating app and trying to find the one. Voyage Home, an Odyssey, is an adventure game. Spend your time sailing around Greece on an epic voyage, but be sure to make it back home or you end up lost at sea. Dragon Ball Z Smash Battle is a miniatures game where you battle as your favorite Dragon Ball Z characters in the battle arena. Before we get to our number one, please, if you like our video, subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot and costs nothing for you.
Pick of the week.
Violently ripped through a wormhole, their ship damaged, and most of their crewmates dead, a battered band of explorers finds themselves stranded in the unnerving fringes of the universe. They've crash-landed on an unknown planet and have managed to become infected with
parasitic spore-based life forms.
All that matters now is getting everyone back to the lab for a deep delousing. But as with all things on bizarre, sticky, and frankly unsettling worlds, nothing about that is going to be easy. For starters, Tom's endurance has run out, which means he's dead. Well, not dead, but very, very unconscious. Furthermore, the team's trust is low, which means many of their personalities are manifesting poorly. But if they don't pull together, this parasite could knock them out for good. Unlike the others, however, Teresa gets a spike of clarity and purpose when trust is low, and with this, extra focus. She decides to channel that into energy, which she uses to carry Tom, still unconscious, to the laboratory.
That was easy.
Not so fast. Unfortunately, the lab was constructed next to an incandescent slime river.
Wait, are you serious?
And it's causing hallucinations.
You gotta be... Are there rainbows coming out of your face?
Although Teresa no longer has any awareness,
I love you, Oatmeal Dragon.
She has just enough lucidity to use her wonder to unearth some raw materials, which she shares with Mark across planet through the suit's phantom mass network. Mark will never be able to make it to the lab in time on foot. And with Tom unconscious and Teresa hallucinating, the team's hopes for survival are dwindling fast. But Mark isn't giving up. He uses those resources to concoct a pearlescent, time-slowing inhalant, and grabs an explosive little seed pod, which detonates and sends him flying hundreds of feet in the air. With time slowed due to the inhalant, he gracefully maneuvers his descent and lands at the lab with the others. Although a little nauseous, Mark has enough awareness to delouse the team and save everyone from the exuberantly parasitic infection. A minor victory, but their journey is only just beginning. Many harrowing, bizarre, and wondrous adventures await as they explore the farthest reaches of existence, planet by planet, working together to survive.
Unsettled is a co-op survival adventure game set in an uncharted space with strange planets to discover. In order to survive, you have to complete a series of tasks. Each game session will give you a random assortment of tasks to complete. The cool part about this game is the expandability. In the core game, there will be 4 planets. Each time you play, you only use one of the planets. This greatly increases the replayability factor. Each planet will have its own set of mechanisms. Other games have a similar structure, such as Time Stories, but Time Stories has that system because essentially you can only play a scenario one time. This game takes that concept, but since you are not solving a mystery, you can endlessly replay any of the planets, making each planet, which it looks like will sell individually for $15, an amazing deal. The possibilities of this are very exciting, and that is why it is Analog Tabletop's Pick of the Week! Pledge $89 to get a copy. The Kickstarter ends January 8th and plans to deliver by October 2020. Thanks for watching, and that's it for this last week on Kickstarter. What was your favorite game this week? Are you going to back any of these projects? Did you think we missed a game? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.